Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kiana. This week I thought that I would bring it back to a video that I've done in the past, but I want to do again this week. So we are going to do a how much I read in a week as a corporate girly with a generic 9 to 5. I want to see what I read this week. I don't have anything super crazy going on in my life this week, just a very average schedule. I feel like last month was pretty chaotic. I had a couple vacations, some family in town. This next week is a little bit less chaotic for me. I technically work 7 to 4, but for the sake of this video, a 9 to 5 job. I did kind of do this video when I first started my channel, so you know, right here. So you can go check that out if you would like to, but I have another like pretty lay and low week of just work and personal life stuff. Last month was pretty busy, chaotic. We had a lot of like friends and family come into town and we went on vacation. This month we still have some of that, but this next week is really just me trying to catch up on some reading. I felt like I was slumping a little bit this last month or so. Not because I didn't want to read, I just really didn't have time. So I want to just catch up. I have such a long physical TBR now, especially after going on vacation and so many new releases coming out. It's gathered, and we'll go over that later in this video. But to make long story short of this video, this will be how much I realistically read in a week. And I'm not starting this like on a Monday or a Sunday like I should have. I am starting this on a Wednesday, so we'll go Wednesday to Wednesday. I'm very excited to be here. I'm excited to film this. I hope that you're excited to come along on this journey with me. We'll go over like other like bookish things too, and just like life things. I have Pilates a few times this week. It's gonna be nice this week, so maybe I'll do some reading by the pool on the weekend. And then, yeah, and I have some really fun reads. So I'll kind of review it later in my video, but yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I finished Rewind It Back by Liz Tom Ford, which is her new and final release in the Windy City series. And it was pretty good. I have thoughts on it, which I'll dive into later. But my current read now, which I'm also very excited about, is A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir. This is the third book in the An Ember in the Ashes series. Initially, when I was finishing Rewind It Back, I wanted to get into Releasing 10, which is Chloe Walsh's new book. It also just came out, so I was like, oh, I'll read Rewind It Back, and then I'll read another new release, Releasing 10, because, you know, whenever new books come out, I typically want to read them as soon as possible. I did, however, see that there were really, really deep topics in this one, especially. Like, I feel like the whole series is full of trigger warnings, but this one I heard was really heavy, and I'm just not, I don't think I'm prepared to get into that quite yet. So I'm gonna give myself some time before I read that one. And so I did put a poll on my Instagram stories because I was kind of torn. I didn't know if I wanted to start this quite yet, or if I wanted to read A Man Called Ove, or Ove, I'm pretty sure it's Ove, A Man Called Ove. So I put it on my Instagram stories as here, and now let's go see what the poll is at. This was in the lead for like a long time. As you can tell, I ended up choosing this one. This was in the lead for a majority of the poll, and let me go see. Oh, I think it ended. Let's go see what it was at, because I think I had a good amount of responses, and it was like about 60% for A Reaper in the Gates and then 40% for A Man Called Ove, like pretty much the whole time that the story was up. Let's see. What were the results? Why can't I see it? How do you look at past stories? I forget. I think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I figure this out? Okay, well, the last time I looked, I did screenshot it. It was about like a few hours ago though, so maybe it changed, but it was, oh, it got a little bit closer. It got to 55% for A Reaper at the Gates and 45% for A Man Called Ove. And there were like almost 100. Like, I can't do math. I had to do really simple math today. See, this was the simple math I did earlier today. Literally 25 minus 13. Are you serious? Now I'm about to do other simple math. I'm not really firing on all cylinders, as you can tell. Oh, not that close to 100. Like, there was like 85 responses. Still pretty good though. But majority, pretty much the whole time the poll was up, long story short, was For a Reaper at the Gates, which I am so excited to get into. I did end up starting it last night. I only got like 3 chapters in, which is like 20 pages, but it's super easy, bingeable reads, this entire series. I've talked about the last couple of books, the first 2 books, I guess, in this series on my past videos and on my Bookstagram, and I just don't want to give anything away because so much happens in the first book, but then there's like kind of a cliffhanger. There's so many like plot twists and stuff, so I never want to like say anything that'll give it away or ruin it for anyone. But if you do enjoy a fast-paced, like plot twisty, very like descriptive, like YA fantasy, this is definitely, I highly recommend. I didn't really know about it until like a few months ago, and I saw some people posting about it, and I thought the covers were really cute. These are like new covers. The original covers were different. I think it had like people on it and stuff, so I think I started hearing about it when they re-released it with the new covers, because it's not a new series. I'm pretty sure it came out like around like 2012 or something, so highly recommend. Though it just is a fantasy YA journey. I don't know, you get different points of views in each book too, which I find really interesting. So as the book goes on and you meet more characters and they become more prevalent in the story, you get their point of views, but it's not like super overwhelming by any means. Like it definitely adds more. Like just in the first 3 chapters of this book, you get a perspective for like 2 pages of a character that you get introduced to in the second book, and you already like, there's already so much like lore that's dropped in it. And yeah, I just like the pacing of it really, and the character relationships and the struggles that they go through. It's YA, but a lot of intense things happen. Like it's very action-packed and devastating, honestly. Like there's a lot of devastating things that happen to these characters. So I would also check trigger warnings maybe if you are going into it and you want to do that. But that's my current read, and then I think after this I will read A Man Called Ove, because it's long overdue. I truly just need to read it. But anyways, welcome to the video. See how much I can read. Every day's a little bit different for me. My work days are all a little bit different, and I have a work event Friday evening. But other than that, like in Pilates, I'm not really too busy. So hopefully, well, actually no, I do have a nail appointment on Monday and a hair appointment on Tuesday. We'll see, we'll see. This is just a realistic, how much can I read in a week, right? Like how much can I read in a week? I guess that's the question for them all. We'll find out next Wednesday. There is so much like will they, won't they in this series, and like different relationships, and like many slow burns, and also what do you want to call it? I guess just like slow burns. But page 66, if you know, you know, page 66, I'm like freaking out, but I also fear, I don't want to give anything away, but like page 66 of this book, I swear, if you have read it or if you're going to read it, just know, like if you get to that part, I keep rereading it. It's like one of those scenes where I'm like rereading it because it's like, oh my god. Okay, it's like the moment that I've been waiting for, but like I know that it's going to be a while until I probably get it again. I just know it. Because this is a thick book. Oh, how cruel, you know? Oh my god, I'm like dying. My like heart is like racing. I can't believe this is YA. Like it feels YA, but it also like doesn't feel YA, if that makes sense. Like I guess, is the Caraval series YA? I mean, I guess that's not as crazy. Like I just feel like a lot of really intense things happen in this series. And not that YA is not good by any means. I love a lot of YA books and series, but this is a little intense at times. I like it. I like it a lot. I also think I just really like this series because it is so insightful into like politics and ranking and just like humans and like the different class levels. Kind of like I was trying to explain earlier, essentially what this series is about is there is the Marshall Empire, who essentially are the elite people of this part of society, and then they have the scholars who typically live in poverty or are slaves. And there's different types of rankings of people, but those are like kind of the 2 main ones that we focus on heavily. And our main girl character, Leia, she was a scholar, and the history between like the slaves and the marshals also include a history with, I guess, essentially other like mythical beings of this world that have these higher powers, and there's a history of them. There was a war that raged many, many years ago, and so it's all coming kind of full circle now. And there's just so much like it is so hard to explain when you are in like the third book of like a series where so much happens, because I genuinely do not want to give anything away, but just like this part of the book, no spoilers, but she's talking about like this girl is just getting mad at this higher being, and she's like, how could you not do this for me? Like, you're a monster. And he's like, are you perfect? Like, he doesn't say that, but he's like, are you perfect? Like, you live and breathe and eat and sleep on the backs of those less fortunate. Your entire existence is due to the oppression of those you view to be lesser. But why you? Why did fate see fit to make you the oppressor instead of the oppressed? What is the meaning of your life? Like, he's like, how can you get mad at me when you're in a similar position, just different? And like I was saying earlier, you get different perspectives of different characters as you move forward in the series, and as you get introduced to them and they become more prevalent. And so in this book, we're getting a lot of different perspectives of characters that are all in different stances. Like, you're not getting like two scholars' point of views. You're getting like the scholar, the marshal, like the mythical creature. Like, you're getting all these different perspectives and points of views, and it's just really interesting. It's really, it like makes you think, you know? Hi, hello, good morning. It is just before 7 o'clock. I have to start work here in a moment, but I thought that I would take some time to chat it up with you guys since I do have a long day of work ahead of me. I'm going to be running around a little bit today, so obviously won't get much reading done, but I think I am going to be taking my lunch a little towards the end of my day today, and maybe I'll get some reading in before then, because I also have Pilates later tonight. I got to page like 107 of A Reaper at the Gates last night. So in total, I read 87 pages yesterday, which is really good. And I'm just eager to get back into the book. I hope I'm articulating myself properly when I'm talking about this book. It's really difficult to talk about a third book in a fantasy series without spoiling it. And sometimes I just cannot even think of proper words. Like, I know that I'm on this platform to talk and share about books, but sometimes I can't even think of like the proper words to describe things. So my bad. I have to get better at that. But I hope I'm articulating correctly how like good this book is and how much I like it and what is happening at the most like, high level way that I can. But yeah, I'm very excited to I'm very excited to get back into it. Um, then I said that I would talk about Rewind It Back since I finished that a couple of days ago. It took me about 3-ish days to read. I think I started it on Saturday and did it around Monday. So really quick read for the Windy City series by Liz Tom Ford. All of 5 of her books that I've read were super quick reads for me. They're just like fast-paced sports romances. They follow a found friends / family dynamic group in Chicago, and they all play for various sports teams. So we have hockey, basketball, and baseball, and then all of the wives and female main characters, they are all either in relationships or tied to this group because of siblings or co-worker situations and stuff. It's very fun. And in Rewind It Back, we follow Rio, who is a part of the hockey team. And you see him in the previous 4 books. He's always been single, and he's a fun, flirty guy. And they always try to set him up, but nothing ever happens. And everyone's just kind of like, oh, Rio, like, who wouldn't love Rio? But he's just like the silly guy friend that goes to girls' nights. He's very, into his feminine side, and he loves to like hang out with just everyone. Like, he's just the most friendly, sweetest guy ever. And in his book, it is a second chance romance with his childhood love, Hallie. They get reunited, and it's their love story. And I ended up rating this at 3.75 stars. So didn't love it compared to the other books in the series. I have found that I'm holding the series so near and dear to my heart. I did not realize last year when I started this that I would
love it as much as I do. It is just like the sweetest, like the found family of it all and the sports of it all. I just think there are so many sweet moments, but I will say that okay, let's go into rankings here. At the bottom of my rankings will be Mile High. I believe I rated that a flat 3 stars. Then would go Rewind It Back at 3.75. And then, here, let me pull up my Goodreads really quick because I think I have a tie for like the top two, at least like ranking wise. The Right Move, I rated 4.5. Caught Up, I rated a 4. So it would go Mile High, Rewind It Back, Caught Up, and then The Right Move and Play Along were like tied. But I think I like Play Along more. So it would go The Right Move, Play Along. I like those top three so much for so many different reasons. Not that I disliked Rewind It Back that much. I just felt that it felt a little more Wattpad-y than the other ones. Like, I know they're just supposed to be fun sports romances, but it just felt very Wattpad-y, and there were so many moments, which I'm not even going to spoil because it's a little bit towards the end, but there were so many little moments that happened where I was like, really? Like, that's really corny. Like, that's really cheesy, and it's kind of cringing me out a little bit. Ooh, I'm so sorry. I did really like Rio, and I liked Hallie. I love the second chance of it all, but the reason that they have not been talking for years and that they broke up, I clocked probably like 30 pages in, but they don't talk about it or address it until like over 300 pages in. And I'm like, guys, and every time they would bring it up, I was like, this is obvious. Can we just talk about it? So it just felt like very repetitive because I just knew. I knew why they broke up and they just would not talk about it. So that was a little frustrating. And then just with there were just like so many kitschy moments in the end where I was like, oh, I know this is supposed to be romantic, but I don't really like it. But I did also really like the times that we had the whole group together, and I really thought that the ending was like a beautiful ending for the entire friend group. And we now know that we're going to get, is it a novella or a novel? It said novel. I thought it was no novella, but we're going to get another book that is kind of like a spinoff of this series, and it's going to be Monty, who is the general manager of the baseball team, who is Miller's dad, and he's like hot dad Monty, and they kind of give a little snippet of everyone talking about how hot he is in this book, which is so funny. But I am really excited for that. I didn't read the snippet at the end because sometimes I feel like reading the snippets of like upcoming books, I don't know, I just kind of like going into it not really having anything, so I didn't read that. But those are my thoughts on Rewind It Back. I think those are my full thoughts. I'm like looking at the series just in case I like forget something. But yeah, I did enjoy it. Like 3.75 is not a horrible rating, I don't think. I just, compared to the other books, it just didn't like get me like that, but I do have to reread it at some point. I probably won't reread Mile High because I really just didn't like it that much. Like, I like them as side characters in the future books, Xander's and what is it, Stevie, but in their own book, I was like, this is not like they were too much for me. But I need to reread The Right Move, Caught Up, and Play Along because they're so good, especially before Monty's book, I feel like, because he's very prevalent in obviously Caught Up and Play Along. So those are my thoughts. I do have to get started with work now, though, but I might check in later when I am on my lunch break because I think I'm going to read on my lunch break. That's my plan. Yeah, remember when I couldn't figure out what to call the mythical creatures, and so I just kept calling them mythical creatures? It's as if I've never read a fantasy book. They were fae. Literally just fae. That's all I was trying to say.
Okay, I am back from hot Pilates. I have not sweat that much. I've been doing hot Pilates for like maybe 2 months now, or maybe a little over a month. So I've gone a fair amount of times. I think like the third time I went, it felt really hot compared to the first 2 times. And then since then it's like mellowed out and I'm like, oh, maybe I'm used to it. I just went tonight and like I'm still wet. I'm maybe TMI, but like I can still feel the sweat on me, and it's been a little over an hour, just about an hour since I got out of the class. I came home, had a tuna sandwich and a Diet Coke, and now I'm going to shower and then lay in bed and just read for the rest of the night. I did read about 2 chapters during my lunch break, and my goal is to get to like just about 200 pages tonight. I like to set these goals not to like pressure myself into reading, but it kind of like paces me, and I'm able to then read as many of the books on my TBR as I had planned for at the beginning of the month when I like pace myself like this. And then usually when I set a goal, then I can like, it's usually to help me get off my phone at night, because if I set a goal, I feel like I have to attain that goal. And so then I spend more time reading instead of doom scrolling on my phone. That's kind of the whole point of it. So I'm gonna shower and then we're gonna continue reading. Good morning, happy Friday. So it's early and I have to start work soon, but I did want to update you guys on how far I got into A Reaper at the Gates last night. I didn't make it to my goal of about 200 pages, but I did get to page 170 of this book, so I believe that is, that means that I read 63 pages yesterday, which is still really good. I have to work until 8 o'clock tonight. It is currently like before 7 a.m. right now. It's like 6 something, and I have an event later, so I'm working until 8 o'clock. I might be able to squeeze in some time to read this during lunch maybe, but I do have a pretty busy day of work ahead of me, so before I start work I might read maybe a couple chapters of this just to get ahead of myself. But tonight, once I'm off work, I'm literally just gonna come home and lay in bed, so I'll probably hopefully get a little more reading done for then. And then this weekend we do have potentially friends coming, because it's gonna be nice and we're just gonna go hang out by the pool, so I'll probably take it by the pool then too, and try to get a little bit of reading done. But yeah, not a busy weekend, so I'm pretty confident that we can get some more reading done. And I mean, I guess the other general update about the book is that I still like it. It's still really well paced. I guess there's about like there's 3 main point of views right now, but technically 4. We just haven't really seen or heard from the 4th person in a minute. But one of the point of views I'm kind of like on, like it's not the most exciting, which I guess is a given when you have like a series like this and so many point of views. There's gonna be somebody that you're like and it's not that I don't like them, it's just that the story is kind of just like we just get them like every other chapter, and I just don't think it's necessary to read that much about it, because now it's starting to feel a little repetitive in a sense. But so that's my update. I'm gonna read a little bit and then get to work. Friends, long time no see. I did not forget about you. I'm currently driving home. I was working all day and then hustling to get things done so I could go to my work event tonight. But as you can tell, I'm not at the work event because it was supposed to be outside, and it's dumping rain/hail right now, and it's very windy. And so that's just like, you can see the sun, but it's like not over here. It's been raining this whole time, and we just did not, there was like nobody at the event. Somebody was already packing up and leaving, so we just decided to also call it, because I just don't think we're gonna get a return on it. But now I'm getting dinner and then heading home. And then it's Friday night, and on Fridays I honestly, after the whole work week, I just crash because I'm so exhausted from like just mentally from the week itself. So that's gonna be my night. It's kind of just like crashing, eating, and oh my god, I think there was lightning. I think there's lightning. That wasn't the sun. I swear to god there was lightning over there. I'm gonna crash, read my book, and eat for the rest of the night. So I'll see you guys then. You guys, you don't even know how I'm holding you right now. I'm holding you. I'm carrying you around on a whole ass tripod. Oh my god, this is gonna die. I just want to say one thing before I finally get ready for bed and start reading is I got the ARC for Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. This comes out on Tuesday, so like it's not that crazy of an ARC, but like it's still an ARC and I still get to read it early and for free. Thank you to NetGalley. Like, this is so exciting. This was the one that I was really hoping for because I thought it had been released already a couple of weeks ago, but I was just seeing people read the ARC of it. So I was like, oh, I need to go like ask for it to see if I can get it before then. And I haven't received an ARC from NetGalley for like a really long time. So I was like, oh, I probably won't. And I did, which is so exciting, but also very overwhelming because I have so many other books that I need to read on my physical TBR, which maybe I'll go through like tomorrow morning, like all the books that I have on my physical TBR. But this is kind of a priority for me now, so I think after I finish A Reaper at the Gates, I'm gonna start that book and maybe read that one with A Man Called Ove. Like, I'll read them both at the same time, but it's so exciting. Okay, I have to charge this. Okay, I have to be honest with you guys. I have barely read. It's almost 10 o'clock at night and I'm on page 204. So I have read like 30 pages today, but I also read a little bit this morning, so really have not read that much tonight. I just like, I've had kind of a headache and I'm at that point where I can't focus on the book and what I'm reading and I'm not retaining anything. Like I keep reading paragraphs and then I'm like, wait a minute, I do not know what I just read. And so then I have to go back and reread it. And so then I've been taking a couple of breaks and I'm thinking about so many other things right now too, and so my mind is just kind of preoccupied, but mostly I'm just very tired and I don't know, I'm a little disappointed because I did want to read till like page 250, 260 tonight, but I'm still gonna try to read a couple of more chapters before I call it a night, but I need to just be kind to myself and go to bed and just read more this weekend, because I also think that there's something to be said about like burning yourself out with reading too, and like forcing yourself to read leads you into a slump and potentially not liking the book that you're reading, and I'm really liking it so far, so like I don't want to like get into that mode where I'm like, oh, I have to read again. Like I obviously want to stay excited about reading because it's for fun. Like it's really not that deep. It's not that deep, guys, but I'll let you know if I do end up reading more and like how many pages I end up reading tonight. TGIF. Hello, happy Saturday. As you just saw, we did go and get coffee in Golden, Colorado. I got a blueberry pancake latte and it was so good. I'm kind of in like my blueberry latte era. I didn't have it until recently and it's kind of changed my life. And then we went to an antique store over in Applewood, Colorado as well, if you've ever been in this area. It's called the Brass Armadillo or like something Armadillo Antiques, and it's gigantic, and we were walking around for like over an hour and I found this is my haul, my couple of purchases. I got this like glass, I think it's supposed to be like an ashtray, but I'm gonna put it on my bedside table and use it for my ring when I take it off at night. So I thought that was a good find. And then I found this Denver Broncos, like it's embroidered crew neck and it's so cute, and both these things were so affordable. I love getting like thrifted crew necks. They're always my absolute favorite. So those were the two items that I got. Now it is 12:30 and it's about 80 degrees and I want to go to the pool and I'm going to try to read by the pool. So those are my Saturday updates. Also, I most definitely did not update last night about how far I got into A Reaper at the Gates. Let me see. I'm on page 225, so I did read a couple of more chapters like I said I would, and I actually still need to calculate how many pages I actually read. Hold on. I did the math. 54 pages. I read 54 pages yesterday, and goal is like around 100 today, hopefully. We'll see. Spoiler, we have not gone to the pool yet. We're actually waiting for friends to come with us, so I don't know how much reading I'll get done there, but I did read about 50 pages just now within like an hour and a half. So I'm on like page 270 something, and I will say it's picking up the politics side of it a little bit more. Like there's not, like there's still action, but I feel like we're kind of diving more into the politics side and like the fantasy part of it and like the history of like why impending war potentially will be happening. So very exciting, but it's like a lot of information to take in, and I don't know if it's a light enough read to like read by the pool, if you know what I mean, because I like to read fluffy things when I'm like by the pool because it takes less brain power to do while I'm also like sweating and trying to tan and like the sun is in my eyes, you know what I mean? So, but we're gonna head down to the pool in just a minute, so. Change of plans. I'm gonna go out tonight. I'm not going out, we're just gonna go grab dinner and some drinks with friends, but that also means that by the time we get home, I'm gonna be too exhausted to probably read a ton. So I just showered after the pool and we're just waiting on our friends. So I have read another chapter of A Reaper at the Gates, and I'll probably read another one because the chapters really typically are not that long. Like these next two are just a couple of pages, so might get a little bit further in here. I'm still at around page 275, so there still is like a chance that I'll read a little bit tonight, but I wouldn't count on it. I also took the liberty of canceling my hot Pilates class that I had planned for tomorrow just because I really want to catch up on reading. I want to catch up on some cleaning because we have family coming at the end of the week, and I just want to have like a relaxing Sunday. So I rescheduled it for Monday though. So Monday I have a nail appointment at the very tail end of my workday, and then I have a Pilates appointment, and I still want to read. So Monday will be hectic. Tuesday, Wednesday, I still am planning in that time to read, but we got a lot going on because Tuesday I also have my hair appointment. So, and Wednesday I also have a hot Pilates class scheduled. So a lot going on, but that's kind of why tomorrow I just wanted to pack it into my work week so that tomorrow I can just sleep in, not worry about tonight, like if I get 2 drinks instead of 1, you know, if I'll even want to get out of bed tomorrow morning to go do hot Pilates. So long story short, cancel that so that tomorrow I can just read. We also have to go grocery shopping. We just got a lot of things going on, but I'll show you guys my outfit. It's kind of like my go-to outfit these days just because I really like how the jeans fit. So it's just like a plain black tank. I believe the tank top is from Garage, and then these pants are from Princess Polly, and they are just so flattering, so cute. And then it's hot out. It's like in the high 80s, and so I'm wearing my platform dog sandals that I've had for a few years, but they are super comfy. The relevant update that I have regarding the book, I just really appreciate the pacing so far. It is coming to like a turning point because each like point of view, there was a moment in time where some of these point of views were overlapping and they were like together. They're all separated now, and so we're getting point of views of them in all these different locations. And I did mention earlier that there was a point of view that I was kind of getting a little bit like iffy or like bored of, and that's also transitioning, and I'm really enjoying their point of view more now. And I think it's just like becoming a turning point in the book where shit's kind of about to hit the fan because it's been very political leading up to this. But I think a lot of stuff is about to happen. So I am confident that I could finish this book tomorrow, given I have pretty much the whole day to do so. It looks like I have a lot left, but honestly, like the font in this book is really big, so it's pretty easy to fly through. So I think if I read a couple chapters now, there's a good chance that I could finish this tomorrow. So I'll keep you guys updated there, but I am still enjoying it. Probably not my favorite out of the 3 the 2 plus this one that I've read so far. I think I liked the second book more, A Torch Against the Night. I think that one's my favorite so far. And then I really did like An Ember in the Ashes, but it was like an introduction to the story, so might be tied so far with this one, but not my favorite, but I'm really enjoying it so far. So those are my updates. I'll let you guys know if later tonight I do end up reading a bit more, but so far I've just read like a little over 50 pages. But you know, I thought YOLO, let's just like go out and hang out with friends because I don't know, corporate girly, working all week, doing all these things. I'm like, let's spend some time with some friends. Okay, bye.
Happy Sunday. It's actually quite a bit into the day. It's about, what is it, 2:23. So we've already had our whole morning together. I'm pretty tired. We got back late last night and didn't get into bed around like 1 in the morning, and then kind of had like a fitful night's sleep. It wasn't like the best, and so kind of had a late start to our morning. We did go grocery shopping. I had some coffee and have read a little bit of this book. So I forget exactly where I left off yesterday, but I did end up reading like a few or like four more chapters before we did end up going out. So I ended up yesterday, my final reading, like page count was 74 pages, which is pretty good. And today I've already read 50 pages. I have a little over 100, like maybe 120 pages left of this book, and I think I can get that finished today. It's pretty much all I have left to do on my to-do list. It's kind of a lazy Sunday. It is a beautiful day, so maybe I'll get some reading done out here, but I've just been sitting on the couch and listening to like YouTube ambiance for reading because that helps me like stay focused on it. But then I kind of started to get a headache just because I'm tired. I'm truthfully not hungover. I had like one or two drinks. I'm just exhausted, actually. So I don't know. Maybe the sun will help kind of rejuvenate me. But that's kind of my update for this morning. Just gonna have a lazy Sunday and try to finish this book. Oh yeah, and then another little update is this morning I did have a clip of me like sitting on the couch drinking my coffee reading this book, and then I turned the camera off so that it wouldn't like take up too much storage. And right after I turned the camera off, I actually had like a physical reaction to what was happening in the book. So that's great for me. It was like my first physical reaction of this entire book so far, but I would say like around the 300 page mark is when it really starts to like turn, and a lot of things have been kind of like picking up pace, and there's a couple of like lore drops and plot twists that are happening that I'm kind of like, oh my god, like this is kind of crazy, and I feel like it's gonna go down from here, and not in terms of like the actual story and like the book being good. I just mean in terms of like the wellness of our characters. Like I just don't think I don't know how this is gonna end, truthfully. It's kind of crazy. I obviously don't want to give anything away, but I'm enjoying it. It's very much more fast paced now, and I'm glad that I stopped where I did yesterday so that I didn't read like that next chapter or the next however many chapters it was away from that and then have to like go out the rest of the night thinking about it, because it would have it's kind of like throwing me for a loop right now. But okay, I'm gonna get back into it.
Okay, so I freaking did it. I finished A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir, and I'm rating it a 4.5 stars. So let's kind of dive into just like my overall thoughts, because again, this is the third book in the series. No spoilers, just high level thinking right now. I also finished it probably like 15 minutes ago, so everything is very fresh on my mind. But yeah, let's just get into it. So 4.5 stars. I will say that the first half of this book was, not that it was slow, because there were definitely a lot of things happening, a lot of moving pieces, but I think it was just a lot more, I don't know, political, like setting up the plot, setting up what was really going to happen, because the last like 200, 150 pages of this book was insane. It was really crazy. There were so many plot twists and just like unexpected things that were happening, and it was just wild. It was really, really good, and I was hooked for the rest of it. I literally read a total of 163 pages today just to finish this book, and it felt like nothing. Like I just kept going at the end of every chapter. It wasn't as if each chapter had like a unnecessary cliffhanger. It was just like, oh my god, I need to get back, because you transition between the three different characters' point of views each time. So like you're never reading the same point of view back to back. So you're just kind of like, okay, now picking back up where we left off with this person, and then you get to the next chapter and it's a different person, and like the story and the pacing is so well done that I just completely devoured it. In terms of ranking it between the three in the series that I've read so far, it would probably, I don't know, I think A Torch Against the Night is still my number one. I did rate that 4.5 stars, and then closely behind it would be this book, and then in Ember in the Ashes I rated 4.25, which it's not bad by any means. I think it was just like the perfect like introduction and setup to this story, because really so much happens in the next two books, and there's one more book left. It is A Sky Beyond the Storm, which I am so excited for, but it's also, I think, going to be very bittersweet, and I'm really like kind of anxious about what's going to happen to some of these characters because I guess maybe spoilery, like it just, the ending for a lot of the characters here is very cliffhangery. It's like, what are they going to do now? Like, shit hit the fan and we really did not resolve it at the end of this. So that's all I'm gonna say there, but this was so good. I'm so glad that I spent most of today just like reading this. It's really good. So I highly recommend if you're looking for like a YA fantasy. It is YA, but I don't know if I said this earlier. It doesn't like necessarily feel like YA all the time. Maybe I said that in my last video when I was talking about A Torch Against the Night, but it's YA, but in a lot of moments it like doesn't feel YA in a way because it's a lot. But okay, enough of me just rambling and repeating the same things over and over again. Completed that, finished 163 pages today, which is so good. I don't think I've read that many pages in a single day in a really long time just because I've been so busy with like traveling and having people in town and just like life and work in general. So I'm very proud of myself for doing that. Coming up next, what I'll be starting is so exciting. So I talked about it earlier. I'm gonna start tomorrow Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, which I got as an advanced e-read from NetGalley. I already downloaded it on my Kindle, so I have it pulled up here, and all I've heard, I'm kind of trying to go into it like a little bit, what is it, blind, but all I know is that it's about 3 lesbian vampires and they're all from different times. What am I trying to say? They're all from different like time periods. And I think we're just like following them through their lives, their love lives. I don't know, but I'm very intrigued. Just even that sentence, 3 lesbian vampires. I'm down. And then the book that I'm also going to be reading alongside that, just because I really want to get into it and I think could be a good, I think they're like both just going to be completely different types of reads that I can read coincide one another, was A Man Called Ove. So I'm going to be reading Bury Our Soul in the Midnight Soil and A Man Called Ove. And I'm super excited about this one. I think this is one of the last books that I have to read by Frederick Bachman. This one and then Britt Murray Was Here or Lives Here. Those are the last 2 that I have to read by him. And then I will have officially read every single book that he has written. So this one I know is like one of the most popular. It has an adaptation, a film adaptation that it's called something different, but A Man Called Otto or something like that. Just so incredibly excited to get into this one. I know that this is a lot of people's favorite Frederick Bachman book and just one of the most like well-known books that he's written, I believe. So they just seem like 2 completely separate reads. So I think they'll be perfect for me to read at the same time because I don't think I could read 2 fantasies at the same time. I know people do it all the time, or like 2 romances. If I'm reading 2 books at the same time, I think they have to be completely different genres or else I'm just gonna get like lost in the sauce. So this is perfect. This will help me kind of keep my thoughts separated and also get further into my TBR. That's it for tonight. I'm going to go to bed, and then tomorrow we have a full day of work ahead of us. We also have my nail appointment, Pilates appointment, and then hopefully I can get somewhat of the way through like each of these books tomorrow. Okay, happy Monday. I haven't seen you guys at all today. I've just been working all day, and I went and got my nails done. See, they're like pink with pink stars. There we go. Oh my god, I just did the YouTuber hand thing for the first time. Yeah, but they're pink with pink stars. I got them done. I was able to get them done on my lunch today, which was really nice. And then I finished up work a little after 4 o'clock, and now it is 4:36. I have hot Pilates at 5:30, and I will be walking there. It's about a 30-minute walk for me, 20 to 30-minute walk. So gonna leave here in a moment, and it's really hot. It's like 80 degrees and no cloud coverage. It's just the sun beaming on us. So hot Pilates. And my little update is that today I did just start A Man Called Ove, and I've only read 2 chapters so far, literally like 14 pages. So nothing crazy, but Frederick Bachman book. So it's good so far. I feel like I can't tell if it's gonna be like devastating in like a really sad way or devastating in like a hopeful way. We'll see. But I think this is going to be another one of his books that I just like devour because every single one of his books, they're just like so easy to read and just the most wonderful like stories about relationships ever. And so we'll see how far I get into that one. I'm also planning to start Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil tonight by V.E. Schwab. It comes out tomorrow actually, but like I said earlier, I got the NetGalley ARC, so I'm gonna be able to read that on my Kindle, which I'll probably read more of tonight. I don't know if I'll continue this tonight after Pilates, just because I'm gonna like, you know, want to shower and like eat dinner and stuff. And when I'm laying in bed, I prefer to read on my Kindle. Like I do read my physical books in bed, but if I'm gonna be laying in bed, I'm just gonna like throw my Kindle on because I do now have an ebook to read there. So probably gonna start that tonight, and I'll let you guys know what my thoughts are and how far I get into that. But just my current reading update is I've read, what's the exact page count? 13 pages. That's how much I've read so far today. So hopefully we get a little bit more reading in tonight. It's like 10:15 now, and I'm going to call it a night, but I did want to update. I didn't read any more of A Man Called Ove. I think I'm going to save this for tomorrow, but I did get started on Bury Our Soul in the Midnight Soil. I got 3% in, and I looked up how many pages the physical book is. It's like over 500 pages, so it's actually really long. I read the first 2 chapters of it, and what I'm gathering so far is that we are getting 3 different point of views from 3 different girls during 3 different time periods. And I just read Maria from the 1500s, and yeah, because it's such a new release, I'm not going to say anything, especially because I just read 2 chapters, but I'm really liking the writing style so far, and I'm really liking Maria's character because she's very much like adamant in her ways, and she's a very strong female character, and she just knows what she wants, and I really admire that about her character so far, and I'm really excited to see where it goes because I think she's going to be extremely defiant in her ways. I don't know. I think she's got a lot up her sleeve, and so I'm really excited to get back into her point of view. But now the next chapter started with Alice in 2019, so I'll get restarted with this book tomorrow. I might take it to my hair appointment because it's on my Kindle, so I feel like it'll be easier to transport around. But I do have, again, work all day tomorrow, and then my hair appointment right after work. But then after that, I'm gonna try to binge read a little more because I didn't get a lot of reading done today, but I did a lot today. I had a very productive work day, nail appointment, hot Pilates, so I'm okay with not reading as much, but those are my updates. I'm really curious to see how many pages I've actually read because I feel like this last week, even though I've had like time to read, I've been also doing so many other things. I don't know. I think the last time I did a type of video like this where I kind of kept track of how much I was reading, it was almost to like, it was like 800 and something, I think. I don't think I'm close to that this time, which is fine, but we'll see. We'll see. I think I'm going to end this video on like Wednesday morning, so whatever I read tomorrow will just be what my total ends up being, but we'll see. I'm walking to my hair appointment. I just got off work, but I did not realize that it's 90 degrees. Oh my god, hi! It's so much later. I went and got my hair done after work, like you guys saw, and then when I came back, we had dinner and we watched a little bit of Abbott Elementary since we're starting that now. So good, by the way. I have not got a lot of reading done. It's 9:30 at night. I also talked with my mom on the phone for like almost 2 hours, so that took up a lot of time, but I don't live close to my parents, so it's fine. I did, however, read a chapter of Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil while I was waiting for my hair to process at the salon. And then I've also read a single chapter of A Man Called Ove, or no, I think I read 2. I read 2 chapters. I'm on page 36, and I honestly stopped because I started to cry. The end of chapter 4, I knew this book was going to be sad. Like I already had a hunch and kind of figured what part of the premise was going to be of this book, but ooh, it's a real kicker, you know? So I don't know. I'm still gonna try to read it. I wanted to get to like page 70 tonight. I don't think that's gonna happen because I still want to like take like a nice relaxing bath, so I'll probably read more off of my Kindle during that time. We'll see how much further I get. So I think I've only really read like maybe 20 pages of A Man Called Ove, and then like I don't know, 2%, maybe 1% of Bury Our Bones. So I'll try to get a little bit further in, but unfortunately this work week is just kicking my butt with reading. I had such a better time reading at the end of last week, but that's okay. I'll try to get a little bit further in. My thoughts on both the books so far is that I do like them. I just think A Man Called Ove is going to be much more emotional for me, which I kind of expected. And Bury Our Bones, I did read the first chapter from Alice's point of view in 2019, and I also really like her character so far too. Again, don't know her too well because I'm only a chapter in, but I am liking these point of views so far, and they seem like different. I'm really excited to see where this goes. I've seen just really good reviews about this book, and today was its release date, so seeing that many good reviews so far I think is a pretty good sign. I'll catch you guys up if I keep reading tonight, but I think I will be ending this vlog tomorrow, so if anything crazy happens in my reading journey, I'll be sure to wrap it up with that. I think I should also kind of note here that it's not even so much a typical work week for me, because not to like keep reiterating it, but I am now kind of in the midst, like the beginning processes of planning a wedding, and so I've been thinking about that a lot. It's been on my mind, and I've been like researching a ton of stuff, and it's just been something that I've been spending a lot of my time these last couple of weeks figuring out, like how I want that to look and work out. So I think that's also taking up some of my reading time, which again is just, you know, my life, but I think that's why I also have not been reading a lot, is because I've been focused on that portion of my life. But also I've just been doing other things. Like I guess I did hang out with friends, get my nails done, my hair done. Like I have no one but myself to blame. I guess this was a busier week than I expected. I have also gone to Pilates, which I had to cancel my Pilates class for tomorrow because I think I'm getting dinner with coworkers instead. So yeah, busy week actually. There is really just like no in between for me though, like during weeks like this where I'm pretty busy. Like even the weeks that I'm not that busy, I'm either reading a ton and binge reading everything, or like I'm reading like 20 pages of a day maybe, which I think is so normal. I haven't really found that consistency with reading, and I wouldn't even so much call it a slump. I just think with working all day and then also having to like, you know, do adult chores and adult things, and you know, there's just so many things in life that we have to take care of now that we're older, that I'm just really tired by the end of the day. And I think you can tell in this vlog I do get a majority of my reading done on the weekends, which I so appreciate, but then there are also times where I want to do fun things on the weekends that don't pertain to work. So there's this thing with balance in life that you have to figure out. I'm still trying to figure it out because we have work, hobbies. Like, I mean, reading obviously is a hobby, but I also look at it as just like this big part of my life, and so it's a little bit bigger to me than hobbies. And then also socializing and family time and travel. There's just so much. And then there's chores where we have to go grocery shopping and whatnot, and then other things that I prioritize, like working out. It's a lot. It's been a really good representation so far of how my weeks typically do go, with like the ups and downs of reading and just like all these different spontaneous things that just kind of pop up. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. I have, but now I'm actually going to get to my cozy bath and book. I still get nervous reading in the bath because I do like to take cozy baths. And I want to read during that time, but I just get so nervous. Like I've never dropped the Kindle in the bath, but I need to get a bath tray. I feel like I've seen people with bath trays, and I think that that would work out for me. But I also don't spend that much time in the bath to like make it necessary for me to get a bath tray. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm gonna read in the bath. That's the moral of the story. Hi everybody. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and quickly conclude this video. Thank you so much for following along with me this week. I have been working quite literally all day, of course, and I just got off work 15 minutes ago, but I have to head out to go meet my coworkers for dinner. So, going to wrap it up now. I did read about 16 pages, like one chapter of A Man Called Ove on my lunch today. But that was all I got done today, so I'm not gonna add that into it because I'm gonna read more tonight, and so we'll just wrap it up from last Wednesday to yesterday, which was Tuesday of this week. So last Wednesday I read 87 pages. Last Thursday I read 63 pages. Friday I read 54 pages. Saturday I read 74 pages. Sunday, I read a whopping 163 pages. And then Monday, I read 13 pages of A Man Called Ove, and then 3% of Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. And then yesterday, Tuesday, I read 41 pages of A Man Called Ove and 6% of Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I couldn't figure out, I'll have to like get the physical copy at some point of Bury Our Bones, but I only have the e-copy right now, and I don't know what page number that is, so I'm just totaling it up percent-wise, and that will come out to a total of 495 pages read and 9% of my ebook read, which I think is honestly really good for this last week considering how busy I was. Like I was saying last night, I just had a lot of things come up which were all really exciting and things that I was like more than happy to do. But yeah, that was a realistic reading week in my life as somebody that works, you know, the OG 9-to-5 corporate job. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that you guys got something out of this. I don't know, but I don't know. Do you guys work? Do you guys work a 9-to-5? Do you guys work an unconventional job that's not a 9-to-5? And if so, how much do you read? How much are you able to read on like a typical work week? Let me know in the comments below. But yes, again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for coming along, and I'll see you guys next time.